You're struggling to consistently generate really good opportunities for sales, and that relationship isn't quite there. You're probably a little bit unsure as to how marketing is impacting the bottom line of your business, or you're unsure how to show your boss that marketing is really truly making a difference. Related to that, you might be finding it hard to get buy-in from executives on different marketing programs and initiatives that you want to drive the business forward. Many of you are probably still in service of sales. You're just responding to whatever it is that sales want. I also know that so many of you are drowned in busy work that just hasn't really moved the needle. And the consequence of so much of this is you're trying to control those lead and acquisition costs. And Kev, we're trying to address all of those really with this 12-week program. And I guess the headline is, look, listeners, your job is not to get more leads. We've spoken extensively about that on this podcast. It's to try and generate more revenue, to align closely with sales and work together to generate revenue. Welcome to the B2B Playbook. We built this channel for small B2B marketing teams who want to drive more revenue for their business. Every week, we're showing you how to create more demand for your brand step by step using our 5Bs framework. So if you're time poor, resource strapped, but you still want to make a big impact on your business, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below so you don't miss an episode. Welcome back to the B2B Playbook, listeners and viewers. Today, we're going to tell you about how you, dear listeners, how you can build your very own demand engine to drive more revenue in 12 weeks. Kev, we're going to be diving very, very deep into our demand engine building program called the B2B Incubator. You're going to learn what the hell a demand engine is, why it is that you as the marketer needs one, exactly who is it for, what the key benefits are, and how you can join us, how you can be one of 10 lucky marketers to join this awesome program.
George, I think the perfect starting point is talking about what is the demand engine. And I think the definition that we go back to is a demand engine is a repeatable system to both create and close demand. So doing both, often people focus on one or the other, but hopefully a demand engine, as we understand it, as hopefully our listeners understand it, does both. And in particular, doesn't neglect the creation part. And it's also what marketing should be in place to do to help contribute to revenue in a business. It really needs to be the marketing engine, the basis of impact that marketing has on the bottom line and all things attached to that.
And Kev, there's a reason why our program, I think, has resonated really well with past students, past participants of the B2B Incubator. And I should first of all say, look, the B2B Incubator is really our way of letting you listeners and viewers implement our 5Bs framework in your business in 12 weeks. So we give you the strategy, the templates, and the tools to do it. You also get live Q&As with Kevin and myself, so we can talk about how you're applying it specifically to your unique circumstance. Now, let's be honest, Kevin and I actually give you guys probably 65% of everything that we talk about in this program in this podcast. But you've got to listen to episodes 0 to 100 in order and take notes. If that's your thing, if you love doing it the free, slow way, please go ahead, keep listening to the B2B Playbook. We share the 5Bs framework step by step, episode by episode. But if you're in more of a rush, if you need to start implementing this in your business today, then that's what this 12-week program is for.
And I think before we dive further into who this program really is for and seeing if it's the right program for you listeners, the first thing we want to talk about is, why do you need a demand engine in the first place? Obviously, at a high level, it's easy to understand that it drives revenue for a business. It's important in that sense. But why do we need to talk about it specifically? Why isn't it the default of every marketing department to actually start building one? Too many businesses, first of all, get stuck marketing to the 3% and can't scale. That happens for a variety of reasons. We talk about a lot of them here, particularly for bootstrap small marketing teams within sales-led organizations, or even just a traditionally established business, or even startups. Often a lot gets put on the marketing team, and creating demand gets pushed to the wayside because it doesn't have those directly measurable results this minute, this month, meeting your targets for this quarter. And as a result, as I said, too many businesses get stuck marketing to that 3% that's ready to buy, and there's just too much competition in that 3%. And as a result, those businesses can't scale past that 3% of people who are ready to buy. So we really need to start covering that full buying journey if we want to decrease our CAC, our CPL, whatever CPA, whatever you might be using as your North Star metric as the measure of success and revenue in your business, and to continue to scale over time.
Kev, to dive deeper into some of those pains that I know that our B2B marketers are feeling, and I know it because we've been there ourselves, because we're so connected with our audience and they share what they're going through with us. We know that so many of you are probably feeling that you're struggling to consistently generate really good opportunities for sales, and that relationship isn't quite there. You're probably a little bit unsure as to how marketing is impacting the bottom line of your business, or you're unsure how to show your boss that marketing is really, truly making a difference. Related to that, you might be finding it hard to get buy-in from executives on different marketing programs and initiatives that you want to drive the business forward. Many of you are probably still in service of sales. You're just responding to whatever it is that sales want. I also know that so many of you are drowned in busy work that just hasn't really moved the needle. And the consequence of so much of this is you're trying to control those lead and acquisition costs. And Kev, we're trying to address all of those really with this 12-week program. And I guess the headline is, look, listeners, your job is not to get more leads. We've spoken extensively about that on this podcast. It's to try and generate more revenue, to align closely with sales and work together to generate revenue.
I guess what George and I are trying to say is, at the end of the day, our understanding of the demand gen engine is that, yes, it's there to create and close demand. But not only that, we understand the roadblocks that come into building such an engine, and we're trying to put into this program all the things you need around that to align with sales, to get your reporting in order, to show your value, to understand your value, understand how much impact you're actually having, and how to get that buy-in from your leadership team as well, and to improve your own understanding and framework overall on how marketing sits within your business and how demand gen fits in as well. So with that, George, maybe let's talk about who the program is for.
Kev, the program specifically is designed for B2B marketers and small teams who really want their marketing to start impacting their business and to be able to show their boss, hey, marketing is really making a difference. Now, small team, what does that mean? We say really teams of 5 or less. Now, sometimes it can be a team of 1. Sometimes that team has a very large budget. Sometimes they have really barely any paid ads budget at all. The way the program runs, it doesn't really matter where you are at in that stage, whether you have the budget, whether you don't, whether you're a team of 1, whether you're a team of 4 or 5, you're all dealing with very similar issues. And the answer to a lot of those issues is often putting in place a very firm demand generation strategy to consistently drive the business forward. And that's exactly what we share over this 12-week period. And Kev, we conduct one-to-one customer interviews with every single person who goes through the B2B Incubator, which has been quite a few interviews at this stage because we've been running the program for quite a few cohorts now. And one thing that they all seem to love is having that documented demand strategy that they can go to their boss, that they can share with the rest of the team, that can even just keep for themselves and go, I've got this plan, I've got the tools, I've got the templates to execute this. Now I just have to keep working through it. And ideally, you're working through it and executing while you're going through the program, but it's something that you can use to drive the business forward and use again and again. Marketing managers in particular are having a lot of success with this program, Kevin. Some have reported that the framework has allowed them to lead as a manager because they're able to point out, this is what we need to do, this is the strategy, this is the process, and this is how we can scale the process in the team. That's actually a direct quote from Ati Aziz from ClearCalcs. She's a B2B growth marketer. Ben Grossberg, he went through the program as well, and he thought it was terrific for those that are thrown in the deep end and they're wondering what to prioritize and how to generate demand from your dream customers. He really loved the practical tools, and he also really loved the templates and the framework to go into it. I've caught up with Ben since then, and he shared some of the things that the business that he's been working at have continued to implement from the program, which is really, really exciting. He's a senior B2B marketing manager at a fintech company called Wheel. Shahed Abatuk, she's a B2B marketing manager. She really loved, again, the structure and the templates. she said that even her bosses and her supervisor and other people from the product team, the customer team, the developer team, they were all really impressed. And she said that she was getting gold stars for months after what she presented back from going through this program. So really great to see that there's so much good feedback from this program and that the learnings are very actionable and having a direct impact.
Well, it's lovely to hear, George. Glad to hear that the program is having the impact that we hoped it would. And I guess it's not too much of a surprise. As George said, listeners, we put together the program as something that we wish we had when we were getting into the B2B space, when we were starting to take off and start to figure out some of the intricacies around this. And our own OCD nature, we needed to have something in place to document a lot of this stuff, to have a guide to go back to. My short-term memory isn't that great, so I need something on paper to remind me. And obviously this program is there to help you have something similar in place for yourself. And you can build that over 12 weeks, so not too long. And you get the bonus of having George and myself on occasion there in the live Q&As to answer any questions you have in the implementation stage. We know that along the way, you'll have questions pop up on how specifically things apply to your business, how things should be done, and how things should be implemented as part of the program. So that's what those Q&A sessions are for. They're really valuable, and we also get a lot out of them. We're able to create new content from it, but most importantly, we're able to continue to refine the processes and the program to the needs of the cohort and to all our future cohort participants.
All right, Kev, let's go into what people are actually going to learn over the 12 weeks. And the way it's structured is, before I get into the specifics of what it is that you'll learn, is if you become one of the 10 in your cohort that joins this program, you'll receive every week material that you'll watch in your own time. It's roughly an hour's worth of material. You'll then have a set of tasks to do off the back of it. And look, we don't give homework for the sake of homework. It's stuff that you should be doing in your business anyway. And then we have a beautiful Canva template where you literally document this strategy as you go along and how you're going to actually execute it. And then you come to our live Q&As every 2 weeks and you ask me directly, or Kevin. This session here was very interesting on mapping your Dream 100. I had a question specific to my own circumstance. In your experience, how did you find the way I dealt with this? So you can really ask questions specific to your own circumstance. And we found that people have really loved the live Q&As. Okay, so over the 12 weeks, we really split up the program to 3 main parts, and it really deals with the first 3 Bs in our 5 Bs framework. So weeks 1 to 4 is really what we would call Be Ready. And that's where you're getting your demand engine ready. And that really starts with deeply understanding your customers. So there you're going to learn how to do stuff like identify your best customers using the 80-20 rule. We're going to show you exactly how to conduct customer interviews so you can learn to influence your dream customers. You're going to learn to position your business so it's a no-brainer in the mind of the customer. We're going to show you how to identify all the buying committee, the relevant parties that you need to target if you're going to win over a deal. You're going to learn how to map the buying journey so you know where to focus your limited resources as a marketer. And then we're going to show you one of our favorite concepts, which is how to use the Dream 100 to find a super deep well of dream customers, both online and offline. So that's all in weeks 1 to 4, action-packed, but all thought out very deliberately.
And as George said, all the templates that you will need will be in there to help you get all this documented, all this done over that first section of the course as well.
That's it. You'll get our 80-20 analysis template. You're going to get our customer interview template so you know exactly what questions to ask. You're going to get our Dream 100 template, and you're going to document everything as you go. Okay, so in the second section in weeks 5 to 10, we're going to look at building your helpful demand engine. Now, this is all about how can we build relationships at scale using helpful content. It's the system that we use to build our own business. It's the system that we use for our clients that works so well. The system that helps target that other 97% of the market who's not quite ready to buy right now. But once they're ready, you can be sure as hell that they're going to come to you over the competition. So in weeks 5 to 10, you're going to learn how to implement our system to create expert, helpful content that your dream customers love. You're going to learn how to use our repurposing framework to really cut down time on content creation by 50%. You're going to learn how to get 15 times more dream customers seeing your content without spending more money on ads. You're going to learn our 3 techniques to making content cut through the noise. We're also going to show you the 5 different types of content that you need to make sure that you cover every touch point in the buying journey to turn a dream customer into a buyer. And we're going to give you all the metrics that you need to measure to see if your content is having success with your dream audience. And then finally, we're going to show you how to scale that content program so you're not doing it all alone, because we know that you guys are time strapped.
Importantly, this gives you the framework to then continue on with this activity over time. All those templates that you did over that first 10 weeks is going to be applicable going forwards as well. It's not just for the sake of doing the template, not even just for the sake of being able to communicate where you currently stand, but to be the tools that you can continually use to improve that process, to iterate on that process, and also to reflect back on in the later stages of your demand gen engine building process. So you continue to stick to your dream 100, your dream customers, your perfect positioning. All those things come back into play. So make sure to take time to go through all those templates if you happen to join us in the cohort.
That's it. You're going to get the demand generation metrics template so you know which metrics to measure. Again, you're going to document your entire helpful demand generation engine. And we also have a couple of templates in there too. So we make it as easy as possible for you to document this process of building your demand engine so it's repeatable, but also so it's scalable, so other people can jump in and help you out once you get to that point in your business. And Kev, the final 2 weeks, 11 and 12, that's all about scaling your demand engine. So we're going to learn how to accelerate demand and use paid media and account-based marketing to win key accounts. So that, again, is about learning to accelerate this beautiful demand generation that you've created in the second part of the program using paid media to really generate more opportunities. And you're also going to learn how to create product ads that generate opportunities and revenue. And Kev, one of my favorite parts of the program, and a part that so many marketers love, is if it's right for your business, you got to learn how to really align with sales using account-based marketing. And you're going to create your first pilot account-based marketing program on a shoestring budget. And then Kev, we're not just going to leave you in the lurch after this. Once you're done with the 11 and a half weeks, in the final session, we give you a path to independence beyond the 12-week program, so you don't need to rely on Kevin and myself, where we give you a whole host of ideas as to where to go next.
That's right, listeners. As we set out to do right from the beginning with this program, the idea isn't to make you reliant on an agency. That's not what we're pushing for. We want you to be independent, real market leaders in your own space, in your own industry, as a strong marketing leader in your own company as well. And so we give you that path to independence. We give you the framework to allow you to get there and continue to improve on that. And we point you in a few directions that we think is really going to be coming up in the near future. But whatever else changes in the future, you have a framework that is evergreen, that is going to be applicable throughout your time and your career, hopefully in marketing, in demand gen in particular. And hopefully that stands you in good stead to continue on your journey.
Awesome. So look, we give you pretty much everything that you need in the 12-week period. I really encourage you to check out the B2B We have a ton of what we call brutally honest reviews there from our past students, where they just straight up tell you exactly what they got out of the program. You can then see, we've got even their names, positions, where they worked. So you can see, does this person look like me? Have they worked in a similar position to me? And did they get everything out of it that I want to get out of it? Please go and check it out. And Kev, I should also say, to make it as much of a no-brainer as possible, we also have a 60-day money-back guarantee on it. We're so sure that you marketers are going to love the program that, look, if you go through the program, you attend the live sessions, and you still don't think you've got an understanding as to how to generate demand, we'll give you a full refund. We really believe in this product. We've had so much great feedback on it, so we're willing to stick our money where our mouths are, Kev.
That's it, listeners. And the next cohort launches at the end of August, so very soon. And applications will be closing shortly, so make sure to check it out. If you don't happen to have time to join us in the next cohort, there will be another one in a quarter's time. So don't fret, but you can always join the waitlist and we'll make sure you're in on the next one. How can you join us? You can go and apply now on the b2bincubator.com/apply-now. You can do that, or you could just jump on the b2bincubator.com and you'll be able to find your way there pretty easily. And you can do this the next time you sit down for your cup of coffee.
That's it. Have a cup of coffee and apply to the B2B Incubator. Kevin and I know that so many of you listen to this while you go for a run, or you're cleaning the house, or you're driving, places where you don't necessarily have your phone or computer with you. So just think to yourself, next time you taste that beautiful first sip of coffee, think to yourself, oh, damn, it's time for me to check out the B2B Incubator and look and see if it's the right thing for you to apply. Again, we've had a lot of terrific feedback from B2B marketers in small teams. So if that's you and you're a listener to this podcast, absolutely go and check it out. And I will just say, Kev, that we only have 10 spots available per cohort, and they tend to fill up pretty quickly.
That's it, listeners. So make sure to come join us or jump on the wait list if you don't make the next cohort. There's plenty of other helpful content on the playbook, on the incubator, so make sure to check it out anyways, even if the program isn't right for you right now. We hope to help you in some way with all the content and programs we're putting out there.
Awesome. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, listeners. As always, you can find links to everything that we discussed, which will be the B2B Incubator. And look, Kevin and I are so grateful that every week more and more marketers are tuning in every Monday by listening to the podcast or watching us on YouTube. And if we can ask one thing, it would be to please leave us a short review on whatever platform it is that you listen on, or pass the show on to someone who would get value from it. It's a huge help to us, and we'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Take care and catch you next week.
Thank you, George. Thank you, listeners and viewers. Catch you all next week.